What if I told you that the world came within inches of total financial collapse in 2008? That banks once considered too big to fail were hours away from shutting down, and the money in your pocket could have become worthless. This isn't fiction. It happened, and it was greed, pure and simple, that brought the global economy to its knees. To understand 2008, we have to step back to the late 1990s and early 2000s. For decades, home ownership was the American dream. Banks, fueled by Wall Street, started giving loans to nearly anyone, whether they could afford them or not. At first, it looked like a miracle. Families were buying houses, values were rising, and Wall Street discovered a way to turn these loans into gold, mortgage-backed securities. But here's the catch. Inside these securities were toxic subprime mortgages. They were like ticking time bombs hidden in shiny packaging. By 2004, home prices skyrocketed. A modest home, worth $150,000, doubled within a few years. Banks encourage people to refinance, take out bigger loans, and buy more property. Wall Street bundled these loans into collateralized debt obligations, CDOs, selling them worldwide. Ratings agencies, who were supposed to protect investors, gave them AAA ratings, the highest possible. Everyone thought these were safe, but they weren't. Greed fueled the machine. Mortgage brokers didn't care if buyers could pay back loans. They just wanted commissions. Wall Street didn't care if securities were filled with junk mortgages. They just wanted profits. Then reality struck. When interest rates rose, millions of homeowners defaulted on their mortgages. Banks repossessed homes by the thousands. Housing prices crashed. Mortgage-backed securities collapsed in value. Institutions that held billions of dollars in these assets faced massive losses. Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers, AIG, names once untouchable, were suddenly drowning. On September 15, 2008, Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy. It was the largest in U.S. history. Panic spread instantly. The stock market plunged. Banks stopped lending. Credit froze. The global financial system was collapsing. A world in crisis, millions lost their homes. Unemployment soared. Trillions in wealth vanished. In the U.S., families packed their belongings into cars, entire neighborhoods became ghost towns, and food banks struggled to keep up with demand. In Europe, the crisis spread quickly. Banks in Germany, the UK, and Iceland collapsed under toxic U.S. assets. The world realized this wasn't just an American problem. It was a global financial meltdown. Governments scrambled. In the U.S., the Treasury introduced the $700 billion TARP bailout, pumping money into failing banks. Critics called it rewarding greed, but without it, the entire system might have collapsed. The Federal Reserve slashed interest rates to near zero, printed money, and injected liquidity. Across the globe, governments launched stimulus packages to keep economies alive, but the damage was done. Confidence in banks, Wall Street, and governments was shattered. The scary part? Patterns are repeating. Corporate debt today has ballooned just like mortgages did in 2008. Speculative bubbles in crypto and tech stocks remind us of past manias. A single collapse, like we saw with Lehman, could again trigger global panic. Data shows that in 2020, U.S. debt levels surpassed even pre-2008 highs. Economists warn the lessons of 2008 are fading, and greed is back at the center of finance. 1. Greed drives bubbles. From tulips in the 1600s to real estate in 2008, human behavior doesn't change. 2. Financial systems are fragile. One domino falling can bring down the world economy. 3. History repeats itself. Unless we remember 2008, we are destined to face another collapse. The 2008 financial crisis was not just about numbers on Wall Street. It was about people, families losing homes, workers losing jobs, dreams shattered overnight. The question is, have we learned, or are we building another house of cards, waiting for the next collapse? If you believe history matters, subscribe for more stories that reveal the truth behind money, power, and crisis.